And we're not used to hearing that kind of candor when it comes to the greatest quarterback of all time. It's just strange to hear him basically calling him out like he's a young quarterback who is growing up in this league. It just seems odd. Some of those phrases, some of those expressions. I think Tom Brady knows what he has to do. I don't know that there's a real need. We like head coaches to be honest, right? But is there a need for him to point that out publicly that Tom is missing, he's inaccurate, he's missing? I don't know. It just seems a little odd to me that that's going on right now.
Me too. It also seems odd to me that Bruce Arians is running an offense that looks nothing like what Tom Brady has done so successfully for 20 years in the NFL. Bart Scott, let me come to you on that. What are your thoughts? You know a little bit about the history of Arians that I think is very interesting here.
Right, Rob, saying if we want to start pointing things out, let's start pointing some things out about Bruce Arians. Why did Bruce Arians get ran out of Pittsburgh? Because he kept making Ben Roethlisberger a sitting target, a sitting duck. He was, Ben Roethlisberger was sacked 215 times in 5 years because of Bruce Arians' inability or willingness to run the football. Tom Brady has come from an offense where he traditionally runs the football. So this is Bruce Arians' ego versus Tom Brady's meekness, right? Tom Brady thrives with two tight ends on the field. He has 14 touchdowns this year with two tight ends on the field. That is overwhelmingly the highest number in the NFL. He thrives off the running game. Bruce Arians is so busy trying to throw the ball deep down the field, he doesn't recognize that he has a quarterback that will slice you up death by 1,000 paper cuts. We talked about, last year, we talked about Jameis Winston and his, interceptions. That's because you're taking these 7-step drops. You don't have a great offensive line. You have immobile quarterback back there taking shots for no reason because you want to have 7-step drops when you have the ability to have two dynamic running backs, two great tight ends, but you're trying to do the shiny new toy and throw the ball down the field. That's not what Tom Brady does. I'm
so totally in line with that, Bart. I completely agree. D. Wood, what are your thoughts as you hear all of this?
Well, listen, first of all, can we be surprised that BA is saying anything? This is his DNA. He's always been, outgoing. He's not going, hold his tongue type of coach. He's always been like that. I understand it's Tom Brady, but that's what Tom Brady signed up for. Second, I don't know if BA lied. He didn't lie when he was saying anything. Tom Brady has 33 incompletions to open receivers. That's third most in the National Football League. And yes, I do agree with Bart that I think Bruce Arians needs to cater his offense more to Tom Brady. And it just leads me to believe, is Tom Brady in on these meetings where they're designing the game plan? I mean, because that was the way it was in New England. Like, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick would have meetings all throughout the week to make sure the game plans were catered to do the things that he was very good at. So this whole thing is real peculiar, and they need to get this thing straightened out. The Bucs going to be in trouble.
I agree. Shefty, quick final word. Looked like you had something else.
Well, it just seems like, listen, we are used to hearing players point the finger at themselves. We're used to coaches pointing the finger at themselves. And you never hear Bruce Arians say, that's my bad, that's on me. It's Brady's fault, it's somebody else's fault, and it just seems unusual because anytime any other head coach points at another player, it becomes a headline, and when it involves Bruce Arians and the greatest player here, then it becomes an even bigger headline.
Absolutely. That's well said. So that's one quarterback situation we deal with. Let's get to another, and this is the one in Philadelphia, which is also very unusual. Now, the Eagles, of course, sit atop the NFC East standings, but that has not stopped a lot of people from calling for the benching of Carson Wentz. Yesterday, Doug Peterson talking about his struggling quarterback. Just watch and listen to this.
Tough decisions have to be made in this business, whether it's a tough decision to move on from a player in the offseason or the decision now to whether you're going to make the move at quarterback or not.
You're not making that move, right, Doug, to a different quarterback?
Not today on Wednesday, no.
Okay, possibly for Monday?
I'm focused right now on getting better today. I mean, okay. We're looking, I don't know. I mean, I would say no.
Carson's your starter for Monday?
Yes.
Huh. Dominique, what?
I mean, does he think that he's being deposed under oath? Was he subpoenaed by Tim McManus? You don't have to tell the truth. I don't think that all leaders don't understand, I think, the purpose of the media. You have to understand that the purpose is not to be honest necessarily. That's not your goal. Your goal is not to fully inform the media of everything that's going on in your mind. Your goal is to do what's best for your team. And if you don't think that, I can't understand why he would think that being so unsure and uncertain and confused and hemming and hawing, like as if he answered this incorrectly, that they were going to fire him on them. I don't understand how he thinks that helps his team. And if he doesn't understand that the point of the media, for him at least, is not to give the right answer, but to give the best answer. And that answer just seemed like he was surprised by a question that he's been getting for at least 5 weeks now. He was shocked that they hit him with it. It doesn't make sense to me. It blows my mind that he would do that going into this game. What you do in that situation is say, this is my guy. I'm standing by my guy. Then if he stinks it up again, then the next week, if you want to change, then you change. I just don't get the point of being so confused in front of a question that he can't be surprised by.
Shefty, I was trying to read your face. What do you think of it?
Well, again, that sounded like a head coach who's thinking about making a quarterback change. That's what it sounded like. Pauses, going back and forth, opening the door. I'm just telling you, in any media market, that right there is evidence that you are contemplating a quarterback change. That's what it sounded like.
I totally agree. In the meantime, Bart Scott, I know that you don't think that's what they should do. Why not?
Listen, my wife and our therapist would tell us that that's being passive aggressive, and that's what he's doing, right? Point. Listen, in the last 2 segments, we just talked about two coaches that point the finger, not the thumb, and that's not what you expect from management. Like at the end of the day, Doug Peterson won with somebody else's player. The Super Bowl in his second. He won in his second season. He has weapons out there that are aging. Listen, we're about to go to Christmas this season, and a lot of people are going to go out there and they're going to buy a lot of things. But guess what? That credit card bill is going to be due. And that's what's due for the Philadelphia Eagles. $64 million over the cap. You talk about Jason Peters. You talk about Kelsey. You talk about Lane Johnson. That's a great offensive line 3 years ago. So now, you think about Carson Wentz. He's around. He has to be around during the transition, much like Russell Wilson had to stand around when the Legion of Boom left and they had to retool. This is Howie Roseman and his ability to spend all this money and buy all these shiny pieces and not draft well, and Carson Wentz is paying the price. He's on pace to get sacked 60 times. What quarterback can thrive in this league when he's getting on pace to be getting sacked 60 times in one season?
It's
well,
really
part of those sacks are his fault because he holds onto the ball for quite some time.
Yeah,
and you brought up the you brought up.
I'm faster than Alshon Jeffries right now. He can't jump over a paperclip.
You brought up the relationship idea in this, and I think that's a good analogy because we all know if you're in relationships that being honest is not always the right thing to do. You know when you get those certain questions that you know how to answer those questions. Doug Peterson apparently doesn't realize that sometimes you just got to be a little dishonest. In that situation, I love my quarterback. My quarterback looks great in his pants. My quarterback is fantastic at throwing. I'm going to stand by him. And then when he's terrible, then you say, I don't know. Let me go ahead and look at this younger, maybe better quarterback.
I get to leave it there for the moment. Bart,